Wonder what kind.
And we are live with your Saturday night's edition of Fleetcast. And I think from what we can gather, there are a lot of people here with us. If you're here with us, let's
Yep.
let's have a little hello.
Yes. Hello to everyone. I see Chris and PMU in chat. PMU, I hope the curry is good. What kind of curry? And oh, good to go bag from a bakery. Awesome. Awesome.
Very, very nice. Yes, we are
Yes.
here with your Saturday night edition of Fleetcast, and we are reviewing the episode 14 of the season one of the animated series. And what an episode it
Does
was.
not look like we're live, by the way.
Oh, it should do. It normally takes a couple of seconds just to catch up. We're definitely live.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yes,
Definitely
this
live.
is episode 14, as you said. Go on.
Yes.
Sorry.
It was a very interesting episode, but how have you been for that? It's been 2 weeks since we've done one of these
Yeah,
episodes, and how have you been?
sadly, yeah. I've been okay. Work's been interesting.
Okay.
Life's been interesting. Uh, Another friend sent me a new board game, and it's actually, when I
Okay.
say new, I mean like new. It's the Rocketeer board game,
Okay.
one of my favorite movies. So yes, gonna be playing that on Sunday at my board game meetup.
Ah, yes. Very nice. And here
Yep.
in the UK, it's been hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, rain, 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 rain. It's
I mean,
really,
it's the UK.
yeah,
That's the stereotype.
we've been very stereotypical weather this week. It's felt like autumn.
Yeah.
It's been horrid. And then today we've had like an hour of sunshine where I thought, oh, I'll get a summer dress out, and then it turned a bit cold. So,
Oh dear.
as you do. But yes, this
Summer dress
episode,
with a stole or a shawl, maybe
it would have been just a cardi. I'm a cardi girl, so yeah, it
that
wouldn't have been,
works.
yeah, it wouldn't have been anything epic. But yes, so this episode, I went into it thinking it was a completely different episode. I went into it
Okay.
thinking that we would have Orions
Mm-mm.
because Slaver.
They're nope. They're
It was a
they're coming
complete
in a little bit.
yes, but it was a completely different episode to what
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. But yes, going into this episode, I was very surprised that it wasn't the episode that I thought it was. And that wasn't because
Mm.
of I got the episode wrong like I do with the Doctor Who episodes.
Yep.
It was just generally I thought it was going to be a completely different episode because of the name
Mm-hmm.
title. Do you
Yep.
have
No.
any facts from this episode before we get into it?
Oh, I have a bunch of facts,
Let's hear
but
them.
let's start with the obvious. If you can throw up the first image,
Yes.
notice who the writer is.
DC Fontana.
No,
Oh, wait, no. Neven. Neven.
Larry Niven.
Yes.
Do you know what he's best known for?
Oh, it's a book. It's a science fiction book.
Many science
Uh,
fiction books.
what?
Yes.
The one that I'm thinking of is Discworld. Discworld, is that it?
It
Ringworld?
Ringworld.
Ringworld.
Discworld
Not one. Terry Pratchett.
is Terry Pratchett. Yes. This is Ringworld,
Okay.
which is also part of the known space setting.
Okay.
And in fact, one of the characters from the story that this was adapted from shows up in Ringworld.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Yep. In fact, it's the character who Spock is standing in for.
Okay.
A puppeteer by the name of Nessus.
Right.
They are
Okay.
actually pacifistic compared to the Vulcans, which that's the one thing. The other thing is, this is, I think, the only episode, if memory serves, I might be off by one, but this is the only episode where Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty, none of them appear.
Yes, that threw me because I was like, I was expecting them constantly to appear and they didn't, and
Nope.
I wasn't disappointed with that.
I am not disappointed with it at all. I think it's a great expansion of Trek And the
Yeah.
fact that there are callbacks to things that you don't really know about.
No, not at all.
Because that's the problem. There are a couple of callbacks to TOS that are thrown in that Niven adapted into his story. And I love that.
Okay.
So we're going to start off, the Kzinti and known space and Ringworld. Huge thing in sci-fi. The most recent book was published in 2022.
Okay.
Okay. Ringworld started back then. We already had gotten the Neutron Star anthology. We had seen the Man Kazin Wars books. In fact, what Sulu references about the Man Kazin Wars, there are 4 books or more now, I think,
Okay.
called The Man Kazin Wars that are short stories set in those wars. Okay.
Didn't know that. I'm
Now,
learning a lot.
now I will say there are some red flags with the Kzinti.
Mm-hmm.
Uh especially with the way they treat let's say half their species.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that in a second because
Mm-hmm.
I want you
I
to
would hold my
understand
tongue.
that was intentional. That was very intentional.
Yes.
You are not supposed to like the Kzinti. You are not supposed to respect the Kzinti. They are they are monsters, roughly speaking. And yet at the same time, realize that they inspired a lot of Klingon stuff later,
Yes.
which that's the spooky thing.
That was the vibe I got, that's what
Yes,
they were heading towards.
yes, they out Klingon the Klingons.
Just a little bit in this episode. Yeah, just
Yes,
a tad.
but they do reference the Klingons at the end of the episode, which I love. But
Yes. It was
so
it was definitely an interesting episode. And as I said, it wasn't the episode that I thought it was going to be going into it. I thought it was going to be a completely different episode.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay,
I wasn't disappointed. That we went in and it was the episode that it was. So obviously
yep,
we jumped straight into this episode with them
yes,
in a shuttle.
yep, the
And
Copernicus, yes, and
yes,
I love the design of the Copernicus.
yes,
It's a runabout before runabouts.
yes, it's a lot less box shaped than what we are used to.
Yep,
And
yep,
I really like the shape of this. For someone who isn't
right,
a shippy person, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the look of it. It
right.
actually reminded me, and I know everyone's gonna freak out when I say this. It gave me Star Wars vibes because of the shape of it.
It
Sorry.
really does. No, it really does. In fact, all of Trek and all of sci-fi at this point is kind of one flowing narrative.
Yeah.
Um, you've got Niven, you've got Star Trek, you've got Star Wars, you've got I think by this point you're starting to get no Battlestar Galactica's in a few years.
Yeah.
Um, obviously Doctor Who running in the UK. It's all one big ongoing soup of a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I love the Copernicus design. And then we open into the interior of the shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best points of this episode that we take 3 characters, one of whom we have a lot of development with, and one of whom, was the star of yesteryear from this series. And obviously, he's Spock. We know Spock.
Yes.
And the other 2 are Uhura and Sulu, the 2 people who are always there, always reliable. And because they are so darn reliable, rarely get enough time to develop.
Yes. This is one of the things that I really do not like about Star Trek. Sometimes we have a big bridge crew, but we do not have
Mhm.
development across all of them. It's not a
Mhm.
fair development. They normally develop it, for example, in Discovery, we've had a lot of develop on Michael Burnham. We've had a lot of develop on Sulu. We had a lot of development on Asher,
Okay.
but we've not had the development on the rest of the bridge crew. And I think it's one of the downfalls of Trek is that they don't give fair development to everyone. And I know they're not
It's a
able
challenge
to.
with an ensemble
Yeah,
cast.
yeah. But it is one of the most frustrating points because I want to know more about these characters. I don't want to have to try and imagine what their beliefs are, what their their backstories are. I want to know that, and I really do think Trek is missing a trick
Hmm.
currently with not doing the shorts. I don't know if
Yeah,
you I don't know if you saw the Discovery shorts when they first
I did not
came
because
out.
I have avoided Discovery.
See, I really, really, really liked the shorts from Discovery.
I
We had what I liked was the development and the little 5 minute stories, and it's
yeah, yeah.
something that other fandoms do oh
Mhm.
so well, like Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what they are doing
See,
with some of the short format stuff is, it
see,
could we
I'm
could do
glad
so
because
much with Trek.
I haven't liked the MCU either much. Kind of stopped after Iron Man 2. But
That's a long way back.
with exactly. Actually, no, wait, no, that's a lie. I did see Hulk,
Okay.
the 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 Ed Norton Hulk, which was the MCU one.
Yes, that's a while ago still though.
Yes, understand. That's the one after Iron Man 2 that I've seen. That's the only one.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a while ago. But
that's where I
but yes,
stopped.
I can understand that, but they are doing MCU is doing such great work with the short formats. Like
Okay.
I absolutely love the what ifs. They are
Well,
amazing.
What If
Absolutely
was always their
amazing.
best book.
Yes.
What If
In
was always their best book.
some of the other and Chris is saying yes, down with the MCU, and he's going, what about WandaVision? Yes, I love WandaVision, and that's
Yes.
that's
Oh,
not
thank you for
short
coming about my glasses.
that's not the short format that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of like
Hmm.
the 5 minute ones. Um
Okay. Yep.
so
I get where you're going. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of of those formats, not like the television shows like the half an hour episodes that we had with WandaVision.
Hmm.
I just think Trek is missing out on this character development, but I
I
know it
uh,
wasn't there when this was out. I know all of that. The
well, we had already started, and also this was at the time when there was a balance in Trek that was
mhm,
also in Star Wars. By the way, I just want to point that out, where the stories presented on screen are the official ones and so on.
yeah,
For all that additional development, you go to the fan mags, you go to the novels. Okay.
yeah,
James Blish with his Star Trek books,
hmm,
where he put out short stories. And of course, the one novel that I love from him, Spock Must Die.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I
And
shouldn't
by the
laugh, but
way,
that's funny.
no, 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 it's a great title, though. It's a
That
great
is
title.
that is that is
I
one of the
love the
best
story.
titles.
Yeah. I love the story, though. I love um, the way that one develops. But yeah, so you've got James Blish, you've got Diane Duane, you've got all of them
Hmm.
writing novels
Yeah,
and developing Trek
yeah,
while it's ongoing and while it's still kind of being developed by the writers. So a
yeah,
lot of what they do informs a lot of what these secondary writers do informs what will later become the basis of classic Trek.
yeah. I find it very frustrating that we
But
don't get that characterization. But yes, going back, we're inside the
yes,
shuttle.
yeah, we're inside the shuttle, and Spock has this weird yellow box in front of him,
Yes,
which he describes as a slaver stasis box.
yes,
Now, if you've read Niven, you know what we're doing here. Even if you haven't read this story, the slavers are uh they're Niven's version of the precursors in many ways.
Okay.
From the chase and from other parts of Trek. Um, a race that existed so long ago that while we can find some artifacts of their civilization, of their science, of their knowledge, sentient life had to evolve a second time
Yeah. Did
after
they
the
say it was like?
devastation.
Didn't they say it was like something like 1.5 billion years ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a ridiculous time scale. But
Yeah.
the thing is that if there's one guy who has a clue about time scales in sci-fi, it is thankfully Niven.
Yeah.
Okay, literally planets have been created since the slavers died out.
Yeah.
You know, but then of course the box starts glowing.
Yes.
And I have in my notes here, in response to Uhura's question of why is it glowing, my response is, do you really want to know?
Yeah, yeah. I'm absolutely I'm smirking at Cypher's comment. I love the chase and the meme saying the precursors are why every race has at least one Jeffrey Coombs. He isn't
Yes,
wrong whatsoever.
you are not wrong. The Kazinti should also have a Jeffrey Combs.
Yes, I would love I would pay good money to see him as a Kinsey, to be fair. I would yeah, I would pay good
Yes,
yeah, it would be
Jeffrey Combs
hilarious.
is a Xin. Yes,
Yes,
I would do it.
he should literally just be paid to be one of every species. It would,
Yes.
we as trackers we would like pay good money for that to happen.
Oh, yes.
But yes, so
So,
the box
so,
is glowing and they are en route. Well, they're en route to Starbase 25, aren't they, to
yep,
deliver this stasis box.
yep.
And the now extinct slavers use these objects to carry weapons, valuables, information, data, all of this. But what I liked is the boxes can detect each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and obviously we realize that this box is glowing because it's detecting another one. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's in the Beta Lyrae system. Now, do you know anything about Lyra as a constellation?
Not at all.
Okay. Well, Lyra as a constellation itself really isn't as notable as it could be. But Beta Lyrae, or Lyrae, is also known as Sheliak. Yes, that's the race from the Essence of Command.
Okay.
Uh,
I just
and
think it's very pretty.
yeah, and astronomically speaking, also, there's a reason why Niven wrote about this system and why it's still there in Trek and why it matters. Beta Lyrae A is one of the most interesting systems we've found to date.
Okay.
It's a triple star system
Yeah.
composed of a binary pair being orbited by a third independent star.
Okay. Yeah, I can see why it's so interesting now.
Yeah. And it is amazingly beautiful from any of the pictures we've taken from
Yes.
this, it is so unique to see these three stars kind of doing this ballet throughout space.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you can describe it. It is like a ballet. I'm trying to see if I can actually find pictures of it outside of
Outside
the
of
cartoon.
yeah,
Um
outside of Trek, yes.
yeah, I'm trying to see
Um
because I didn't realize that. So let's have a look. See if I can find
yep, it
something.
is a beautiful system. It is amazing when you actually see it. Um
Mm, mm, mm.
let me see. Here we go. I don't have one, but I do have a bunch of pictures in an article here on
Um,
starfacts.com, which is not connected to Star Trek. They're Star Facts, not Star Trek.
okay,
Uh,
I think I've got it. Let's
but
see.
it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Um, and you know, and yeah, you've got Sheliak, you've got Sulafat, you've got Gamma and I think that's Etta. I don't remember. Or Zeta, and then Vega, because Vega is the center of Lyra.
There you go. I've popped it on the screen, like one of the pictures that they've given us, and sort of
Me see.
it's
All right.
not the best, but it's
Yeah, but it is
it's what.
still.
But I feel very much like it's one of the few. I feel like this is actually, now that we've had this discussion, it's
Mhm,
one of the most lifelike things that we've had on track. Sort of, it's
mhm.
actually taken something that we know about now, or they
Yes,
knew about in the 70s, and they've put it into track, and I really
yes.
like that. Um,
Agreed, agreed.
yeah, that actually might change my score for this episode.
There you go.
It
So
might
yes,
do. We'll
yes.
have to keep having this discussion, and my score might actually change by the end of this discussion. But yes, so
Okay,
they go off
but
in search of this box, don't they?
yes,
And
yes,
they go to it, and they follow it to an ice planet.
yes.
And I
In the original
absolutely,
story, it was called Cue Ball, by the way. The woman who
okay,
Uhura is standing in for stepped out onto it, said the same line as Uhura does. I never liked these little ice worlds. And then says, I dubbed thee Cue Ball.
okay. Didn't know that. Oh, look,
Yep.
Cam's also here. Hi, Cam. I thought you were on
Hello,
Hollabot.
Cam.
And she says it's amazing how many tops Starfleet writers did stories for the animated
Sci-fi writers.
series. Sci-fi, sorry, sci-fi's.
Absolutely.
I
Yep.
see,
It's stop.
I see F, and I think instantly Starfleet. I'm defaulting to that now. But
Yes.
yes, I until we've started having
Yeah.
these reviews and conversations, I didn't realize how many sci-fi writers were involved in
Oh
the
yeah.
animated series. It's actually amazing how many of them are.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's not just the TAS. It's also Star Trek as a whole. But yeah, absolutely in TAS. Where again we've got Niven here adapting one of his own stories. We've
yeah,
got, you know, um, I mean, unfortunately, Heinlein never wrote a Star Trek story. Sadly, Dick never wrote a Star Trek story. Actually, no, Dick did, but then adapted it into one of his own. It started as a Star Trek fan fiction. He's been open about it, or
okay.
was open before he passed.
But to be
But
fair, if they can make what's it called, 50 Shades out of Twilight, and that's fan fiction, you know, we're not going to
yes,
judge. We are not going to judge. This isn't a place
I
for judging on the writers.
I will judge 50 Shades. I'm sorry. I will judge 50 Shades.
It was Twilight fan fiction at one point. So
I know it was. Oh no,
you can imagine.
how about I don't need to imagine. I read it. I read it when it was still called Master of the Universe. And after the second moan, I was like, nope, we're done. Okay. But then again, you realize
Indeed,
Twilight
I'm
starts
learning
as fan
so much
fiction.
about
But
you in these episodes, and this is
yes,
hilarious. But
yes.
yes, moving
But
on.
Twilight started as fan fiction too, by the way.
Yes, it did. But
Uh,
I think every story starts as fan fiction. You know,
Technically, yes.
yes,
Technically, yes.
everything inspires everyone. But yes,
Exactly.
we get back onto this ice planet, and we have the
Yes.
return of my favorite
Of the
thing out of the animated series, and that is the return of the life belts. Get
belts.
in.
Yep.
Absolutely love
Yes.
it. And I
I
love the
love the
fact that
life belts. Yeah.
I love the image that you got for this, and the fact that
Yep.
Sulu is stood there and he's got his hands on his belt,
Just like
and
boom.
it's
It's like
completely a superhero pose, and I
I am
love it.
here.
Yes,
Right?
I absolutely love it. It's brilliant. Um,
Yes. But the thing is, I do love how they have Uhura as like front and center character in this episode
yes,
constantly. Um, and then we get the thing I was waiting for, the thing I have been vibrating over, the introduction of the Xinti.
yes, and you put it in capital letters when you sent me the image, which I love.
Yes.
And I am actually 100% loving this species, and the
Yes.
fact
I
that
love the designs.
we have these images of them. We have
Mm-hmm.
basically cats in astronaut outfits, and I
Yes.
am here for it. I love
Hats
that.
with bat wing ears.
Yes, I love it.
Yes.
I really love the design, and this is the first time we've seen this species, isn't it? Isn't that
It's
correct?
in fact this is the only time they will ever be seen
Yeah,
on TV.
which
Um,
I feel a bit sad about because I
yes.
really like this species.
Hmm. Well,
I
we've
really
seen them
do.
actually in other episodes of TAS. Because what's the one? The one right,
We
the one two before this where they went into
when
the
they went
alternate
into the
universe.
yeah.
It was, oh god, what's the name of it? It's the Time Trap.
Yeah.
Back in Time Trap, we saw one, and I was, and I know I was already vibrating like, oh yes, we're getting there,
Yes.
we're getting there, we're getting there,
Yes,
get in.
that you were.
Um, and here they are now. And what's the first thing they do? They zap people because, well, I mean, they do out Klingon the Klingons. Let's be honest. If
They
you
do.
know Ring World, if you know Known Space, they out Klingon the Klingons. And I had to pick the image I did, the frame I did, because this is, Chuffed Captain zapping Uhura.
Yeah, and to be
And
fair, I think it was probably one of the
this is,
best frames to show.
yes.
So I'm not judging you for the fact that
Yep.
it was the frame you chose because
Hmm.
I don't think you could have chose another frame to show it
Nope.
just as well.
Yes.
Because I love as we say every episode, I love the imagery around
Yep.
this. I love the fact that
One of us locked up.
how they highlight things is that oh
One of
no
us
and he's
locked up. I'll be right back.
okay. I'm by myself again, so I will do a dance.
Are you there,
Oh, I'm there. I think you've disappeared again, though. You froze.
Becca?
Yeah, I'm here.
Be right
Hello.
back.
Okay. There we go. Oh, no. By myself again? Oh, dear. I'll just go like this so you can see me. There we go. He's back.
Sorry.
It's
Yep,
okay.
it happens. This is one of those unfortunate things with live. But yes,
It always happens with when we're live more than anything else
yes,
ever. So that's
it really
absolutely fine.
does.
It
But
amuses
yes,
me because there's some very amusing um
yeah,
because things because
shots.
yeah because I it looks like to Phoebe that I was teleported from one ship to another because I was bouncing my head between the screens because I can see
I
that
see that. Yes,
but you
yes,
can't, so I was bouncing between screens.
yeah. I see that actually on
It was
the
the
thing
ADHD
where it's like,
moment, to
where
be
is
fair.
he? Where'd he go? Yep. But yes. Okay. So we're here.
Yes, we are, but we're both
Okay.
back.
So yes. Yeah. They zap Sulu Uhura and Spock. And the thing is, there is one other scene I could have picked from this, or one other frame, where they give the James Bond shot looking down the barrel of the phaser.
Yeah.
But yes, as you said, the artwork in this is great, where you've got the space background behind them, the fact that the Kazinti are using cover, the phaser in his hand, the interaction of the phaser in the life belt, it's just very wonderful to me.
I really like this scene. And yeah, as I say every episode, the imagery is amazing.
Yes.
And I find it gets better and better as we're going on, even though we've had some amazing
Mm-hmm.
things. You know, we've had the imagery of yesteryear, we've had the time
Yes.
trap. Those images, yes, they were good, but I find that as we get further and further,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're getting the drawlers and the computer
The
animation.
artists are doing so much better. Yes.
Yeah, they're getting more confident, and I think as writers and people who have been doing the writing for a very long time, I think we can appreciate how much is going into this.
Oh
Um,
yes.
but yes, so then obviously we've got Uhura who is captured.
Yep. And all three of them get captured at first in this
Yes,
police web, which
yes.
is essentially an electromagnetic field that holds them in place.
Hmm.
Um, and Spock tells Uhura and Sulu kind of what the heck is going on and what to do. This
Yes.
is actually one of the interesting things where we see the interplay of what happened with Niven and what Trek does,
Yes.
where Spock is still in command, but he
I
knows that the
go on.
well, no, but Spock is still in command, but he knows that the Kzinti won't talk to him.
Yes.
Oh, we're losing connection again.
Oh no.
Why did it do that? I don't know. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yes. Phoebe, ADHD in space. It always happens worse when we film later in the evening episodes. Yes, and it is a very, very Klingon move of them. And yeah, one thing I really appreciate about this Fleetcast is that it's given me a new point of view on the animated
Are we back? Yes.
series. Previously, I'd always thought of it as a good story with terrible animation. So seeing it through new eyes, yes, I am really enjoying this. Um,
Absolutely.
this kind of go through of it, Cam, just because I'm appreciating. I feel like I'm actually appreciating the original series ever so slightly more. But we are obviously going to be we are going to be reviewing that. But I
Yep.
do feel like I am appreciating it ever so slightly. Though that probably will not stop me getting very, very angry at some points.
Oh,
That
there will be points. And
you
there
know,
will be red flags, I promise you.
yes, there will be red flags. I will get my red flags and my green flags and my pink flags
Yes.
and my yellow
Yes.
flags and all my flags sorted
Yes.
for those episodes.
Yes.
And they will. These
Ooh,
episodes
pink
probably
flags.
will.
That's an interesting idea.
Oh, I've got a pink flag. I've got that's for love. When there's, I'm gonna be flying it all over with Kirk. Kirk
Anytime
is
you
gonna
see
Kirk is just I'm just gonna be waving it.
anytime you see uh Chapel and Spock on screen together, you're gonna be waving
Oh
the pink
no,
one.
I'm getting them. They are having a special flag. They are having my ship flag because, as I say, every blinking episode, I am captain of that ship and I will go down on it
Yes.
because
Yes.
Chapel and Spock are endgame, and I am really mad at
Fair enough.
how Strange New Worlds has made me love them. I'm really sad that they broke up with a musical episode. They broke up
Oh,
in the with a song. No wonder he's so pissed at her in this.
yes.
She broke up with him with a song.
Well, hey,
Sorry,
it's
that
better
was
than breaking up over
full
text.
spoilers. Sorry, I went into a whole rant
Yes.
then.
Don't worry, but it's better than breaking up over text.
But she did it in the mess hall with a musical
Oof.
number in front of
Oof.
everybody. Yes, yes.
Okay. Why is my iPad not working? Hold on. Does not want to work.
Oh bless. 100%. Song is worse, Chris. 100%. She broke up with him with a musical number. You have to watch
Yeah.
the episode.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry.
okay.
Yes. I am sorry. That stupid thing. I don't know why. It seems to be glitching out. Hopefully 3 times is enough. Yes.
Phoebe, I think by text would probably be better because it was literally in front of everybody other than the senior crew.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, but yes. So for anyone who is
It
new
glitched.
and don't realize just how much I love Chapel and Spock,
Yes.
the last 5 minutes you can just watch and you'll understand.
Yep. You are captain of that ship.
I am. I
Absolutely.
am. But
But
yes,
now
let's get back to the
now we
episode.
getting back to the episode. Now this is a big, big, big red flag right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's quickly talk about. Let's go back to Niven. Let's go back to known space. Let's go back to Kzinti. Um, he Spock is not wrong about the Kzinti females.
Nope.
Unfortunately, we do see one later who is not that, but the Kzinti did genetic manipulation on their women
Yes. Which
to
is
remove
awful.
their intelligence.
Which is just awful.
Well, yes. Oh, understand. If if you think something could be done in a worse or meaner way, the Kzinti have done it that way and found a meaner way to do it than that.
Yes, yeah. It's slightly unforgiven how it is, but I feel like it was designed just to show us just how awful this species actually
It
is.
it absolutely was. They are absolutely doing that. It also gives Uhura a few moments of intelligence to herself because by taking advantage of that fact, she's not stupid. You know, she's a
She
and
is a Starfleet officer, and this is what frustrates
exactly.
me.
And I love that
Sometimes,
Spock
yeah,
literally says, "I value your intelligence."
yes, it's what frustrates me about sometimes our writing in Star Trek is people think Starfleet officers are just, he's gone again. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny. Yeah, Cam, it really is shorthand for these are the real bad guys. And it's an unfortunate thing, but it frustrates me in this in our writing styles that sometimes people write their characters as if they are not Starfleet officers. They write them as if they're
Yeah.
Mary Sue's. They very much write them
Well,
as if they're not intelligent. And
well,
our characters have been through what 4 years of Starfleet Academy. They are the best of the
yes,
best in some cases. They are not going to be
yes.
flighty. They're not going to be thick. And how sometimes we see people who write their characters as if they are teenagers. They don't follow instructions. They argue on the bridge,
Oh God, yeah.
and I'm just like,
You,
no,
you just
no,
have to
no.
sit there and go, why,
Why would
why?
you write that? Why are you writing on a Starfleet game with a chain of command if you're just going to go around the chain of command and just cause chaos? Actions have consequences.
Yes, and then of course, you get into the Firefly solution with the chain of command. The chain of command is the chain I beat you with until you follow commands.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
But yes,
but
getting
yes,
back to
so
this.
yes, they changed. They literally changed intelligent female Xinti into animals,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. It's horrifying. Um, and it's just weird. But
Yes, it is.
they
But
are.
what I like about this species, and that sounds awful to say, is I
Mhm.
just love the animation of them.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah,
we've got the captain, and he literally, I'm putting the image up now of the captain.
yes.
I just love how they have it as the cat. It's on two legs, but it's bent over, and it's still trying
Hmm.
to use its arms. I just really love how they've put so much thought
Yes.
into it.
Yes, and I mean, I wish we had. I wish I had made like an animated GIF, though I don't know if I could. But
I
I
got
wish
you
I had
later.
pulled like a little bit of video of them walking because they are animated very well. Somebody actually thought this through.
Yeah. And I don't find that we always get that in Star Trek. We
Right.
do not get people thinking about this type of concept. But someone is a cat
Hmm.
mama or a dada, and
Hmm.
they've literally spent time looking at their cats, looking at how they react, looking at
Yeah.
it, because obviously YouTube would not have existed at this time. They've either gone and
Right.
studied at a zoo, or they are a cat mum and they have watched their
Yes.
cat for hours.
Very likely that the cat mom.
100% these people have watched their cat, and
Yes.
I love
But
it.
then we get the next character. In fact, one of the more interesting characters, though he has very few lines. Again with the freaking. Hang on, one moment,
Oh
please.
dear. Endy is not having a good night when it comes to this. Poor love.
I,
Yes, Cam, that is a really, really good point. They are literally the handmaiden's tale taken to a logical extreme. Yeah,
yes.
oh so
Uh,
much.
absolutely. You are absolutely right there. And I swear, I'm gonna just start typing when I lose connection because for some reason it seems to be glitching today. I don't know.
It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
But no,
You know.
But then we get one of the more interesting characters, even though, as I said, he doesn't get enough lines.
Yeah.
But his lines that he does get are kind of funny. The telepath,
Yes.
who, as Uhura says, I thought all their telepaths were worried neurotics. And my God, you can see it in his body language.
Yeah.
He is the nebbish of the highest order among the Kzinti.
Yes.
And part of the reason he's a nervous, neurotic wreck is because he's also drugged up to his eyeballs.
Yes. It's scary, you know. I had to to be fair, I had to watch sort of half of it again because I watched it
Okay.
and I found myself actually zoning out. Um, not
Mm-hmm.
through the episode's fault, just me having a moment. Um, and
It happens.
I missed this part, so I actually had to watch it out again. But what I really liked it was the fact that it was Sulu who called them out
Yes.
because
In fact,
I don't feel like the animated series is doing Sulu as much justice as
mm-mm.
the original series did.
Agreed. And that's one of the things that this episode does super
Yes,
well.
yes,
Because he catches Chuffed Captain out in the lie that the
yeah,
Trader's Claw is actually a vessel under Kzinti government control.
yes,
And I had to put up that screenshot of the facial expression
yes,
because that look on Chuff Captain's face, it's just like, oh shit, I hate
yeah,
you right now.
yeah.
And then we find the picture, and I had to send you this with the title I did.
A face only a mother could love.
Yep.
Which now that I've obviously watched it and I've seen it all, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Chris is pretty. It looks like Ludo from the Labyrinth. Yeah,
I I would believe it. Yeah. Actually, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. It kind of does. That's interesting.
I wonder if it's around the
Did
same
you lock up
time.
again? Or did I lock
No,
up again? I locked
it's
up
you.
again.
It's
Oh
you.
god.
It's okay. Bless him. Oh dear. But yes, so we've got to the point in the episode where they're trying to we find out that they're trying to steal the boxes in hopes of finding super weapons in theirs, which I really love the concept, but I'm by myself, so I'm gonna hope that Endy comes back. If not, I'll change the screen completely and I'll do the episode solo. It'll be fine. I can do this. I've got images. Yes, Chris, it is one of those nights. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Bless him. Poor Endy's internet just keeps popping around.
Yeah, my internet and I are having a discussion later.
Yes.
Uh, I think I'm gonna have to get something better than the 200 megabit internet. I really think I do.
Mm,
And I'm sorry, Mike. Because of having to adjust everything, my hardware situation got adjusted, so I need to readjust the tablet now.
it's
Oh
okay.
Lord, this is my life.
Oh,
Everything
bless
falling
you.
apart, and yet somehow I managed to make it look good. Right?
Yes, yes,
So yes, we get to we get to that slaver, and then we continue going through the box.
yes.
Fresh meat. Too bad Chef Captain doesn't just take a bite out of it.
Yeah. Fresh
You would,
billion year old meat. Ugh,
yes, as I put it, yes, fresh billion-year-old meat. Yum yum. Yeah. Uh,
nasty.
yes. Well, we later on do find out that they said protoplasmic and poisonous. So too bad Chef Captain didn't just take a big old bite.
Yeah, it's a shame. It would have half the episode by about 20 minutes. About what? About 15 minutes,
Yeah,
give or take.
yes. But then we get to the core of the episode.
Yes, where they discover a device which you have
Yep.
labeled oops. Which
Yeah.
by the way, my favorite part about how we do these episodes is we
Yes.
watch it and Andy gets all the images for me and he labels them. And I don't normally look at the images until you guys are seeing them as well.
Mhm.
So I don't know what what means what unless it's
Yes.
really obvious. But this part, literally this image was labeled oops,
Oops. Yeah.
which I love because it's hilarious now that I can see it. Yes,
Yep.
it is very much the oops episode of this. It's very much
Yes.
the oops
So
moment.
yes, where Chuffed Captain pulls out the slaver weapon,
Yes.
and we see it in detail, and I love again the artwork here. I love the detail.
But do you know what it looks like to me?
I know exactly. Well,
It looks like a
okay,
watermelon.
okay.
It looks like someone has
Looks
literally
like a
put a
watermelon.
yes, a watermelon with a stick plugged into it. And you've gone again. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes. But yes, does anyone else think the image looks like a watermelon? Watermelon water gun, it very much does look like the cam and it's brilliant. But what I like is the fact that they are it feels very much like they're
Yeah,
keeping in line with
yeah,
the original series and just using whatever they can find.
yes,
I
yes,
feel very much it's keeping with that vibe.
yes. See, for me, the gun. I'll be honest. Anything like that with multiple settings, uh, makes me think of something not safe for work. Let's just say.
Yes. I can see it, but to me it just looks like a watermelon. I feel very much
Okay.
like or a hairdryer.
Yes, that
It
was the
looks
other one.
like yeah. Oh, okay. Cam's put there
Yeah.
were actual water guns that look like that in the 70s.
So it does look like a water gun. Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
the next image, is just this one we can just flash and just go past because I just want to show this one because again we talk about the ship designs, we talk about the artwork. This is just I want to show this Xinti ship and how different it is to Starfleet vessels.
Yes, it feels very much like it's one of the first ships on this series that doesn't look like it's got the same core design,
Mm-hmm.
which I absolutely love. I love the fact that in this series we are very much getting different ships designs, and as I've said a million times,
Yes.
I'm not a ship girl. I picked 150-year-old Connie class to write on. I've picked an NX class to write on. I don't
Yep.
go for the shiny, I don't go for the new, but I
No.
absolutely love the ship designs. They are
Yes.
epic. I almost want to do an episode just on the ship designs once we finish with the animated series,
Yeah,
just
absolutely. We should talk about them.
on the ship designs from this series.
Absolutely
Maybe
agreed.
we can have a couple of other people on because I would like some people on here that are more ship people than me.
Okay.
So yeah, well
Yeah. But I
that's an
love
idea that I've got. But I love
yeah, and
this
I love it.
design.
Yes, the Kazinti ship, I love how different it is to what we're used to. How it
Yes.
looks kind of like a UFO, just kind of on its own.
Yeah, it does very much look like the UFOs that you expected in the 70s.
Yes.
And Phoebe, yes, the only ship that I am interested in is Spock and Chapel. I can live with
You're
that.
absolutely right, Phoebe.
I
There,
can live
yes,
with that. Yeah.
yes,
There are other
yes,
ships that I rock hard
yes,
like
yes.
Torres and Paris.
Well, yeah, of course.
Riker and Troy, I ship them far too
Always.
hard. They are the
Well,
OG
they are
Star
the
Trek ship.
OG. They are the officials. Yes. Honestly, the one that I ship that is not fully canon, I still want more of Picard and Crusher, and I know that the Picard series has done
Yes.
stuff with it, but
Yes. Oh, they
more of
have.
Picard and Crusher.
They so have. It's good. I like it.
Yes.
I don't like how it came about, and I think some of the aspects of Picard and
Yeah.
Crusher's storyline are they're a little bit annoying.
Cringe. Yeah.
Cringe, but
Yeah.
also I'm sure Cam will add stuff to this because I know that
Hmm.
she's got points on this. But yes, um, now waiting for a civvy ship sim that
Oh,
uses an old refit Kinsey ship. Do not tempt me. Do not
don't
tempt
don't
me.
stop. Don't tempt us with that.
Don't
Also,
tempt me
yes,
because
Cypher.
I could totally change Rosie. I could totally do it.
Oh,
But
geez.
I have just spent 4 missions building up to a refit. So let's
Let's table that discussion.
yeah, let's table that discussion for a couple of years. Let's not
Yes.
go there for a couple
Now,
more years.
now we get the telepath there, and again, as you said, somebody in this episode is a cat person who watched their cat.
100%.
Look at those eyes. You know what's going through that cat's head. Like, oh no, please don't make me do this thing.
Yep.
As he starts trying to read Sulu's mind. Now,
He just looks like a cat that I just want to huggle.
yes,
I
he
just want to
needs it.
huggle the cat.
He needs it. He needs it. And then Chuff Captain again, getting setting 1 on the gun. Well, on the weapon. And God, does he look cocky or what? Just and he just has such a cocky expression on his face. I love it. And points it at them, and it's just a laser.
Yeah,
And as Sulu says,
I found this aspect quite interesting that they did spend quite a lot of time going through these different parts of the weapon.
yeah. See, I liked it because it's them spending time and developing the main point of the episode.
Yeah.
And the point of the story was about the weapon more than about the Kazin. So what we're seeing is that this episode is also, in effect, about the weapon and about what it can do and what it might do if it was unleashed.
Yeah.
So you've got Chuff Captain there. He points the laser, or no, wait, no, this is the one that doesn't do anything.
No.
This is the one where it just vibrates the life belt.
Yeah.
Okay. Where they find out that the telepath is reading Sulu's mind and says, "Oh no, he's thinking of yellow roots ground between flat teeth." Do you know what he was referencing?
Yes.
Do you know what the joke is?
No.
What do you think of that is yellow, a root vegetable, and I just lost connection again.
Potato, sweet corn. I'm hoping it's not an American fruit that I don't know about.
Are we back? We're back.
You're back. But yeah, I don't
didn't
know.
even need to reboot. Okay, thank God.
You didn't need to.
I didn't need to reboot.
Fine.
Okay, so what I was saying.
I'm not sure what vegetable.
Okay.
I thought just potato, but it might be.
Yes.
Is that
it is
one?
potato.
Okay.
But it's French fries specifically.
Oh, okay.
Sulu is thinking of eating French fries.
Okay.
And using that to jam this telepath's brain.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
He French fried the brain.
Exactly. And then the second one is the small telescope. We already have small telescopes.
Yes.
Great. The third one is just a standard laser.
Yeah.
Which, as Sulu says, we've had a better model for centuries.
Yeah, they make a comment that it's less. What is it? Something along the lines of they've got less technology than the Federation does now.
Well, the Kzinti do have less tech because of a treaty, but this weapon so far is nothing that the Federation doesn't already have.
Yeah,
and in a sense, also nothing that the Kzinti don't have access to, even if illegally.
Yes.
Okay. Now, setting 4, I love.
This is the one with the fire because I've already shown it.
Yes, this is the jet setting,
which I love. I love the fact that he kind of goes in a circle with the fire.
Yes, he ends up crashing past Uhura and knocking her out of the police web.
Yes,
and then ends up going in a circle, spinning on the ice.
Yes,
and again,
he runs for it, which I love.
Oh, she just bolts.
Yes,
which is absolutely the smart thing. But then, unfortunately, proof that it wasn't written to be Uhura. Because she gets zapped.
Yeah.
This is her second zap that she's taken. But I just want to point out, This is her second zap that she's taken in this episode.
She is tough, man. My girl is
Yes.
tough.
Yes. And then is upset at herself because she used to be a record-setting runner,
Yes.
and
That part had me creased. I was like, oh, bless her. But that happens with age. We're all getting on a bit, love.
it does, right? And
You
you
know?
just see there like, sweetie, what you did already was amazing. What are you
Yeah.
upset about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I love the idea of Uhura as a track star.
She is wearing red, but I think so
Yes.
far she's the only person in red that doesn't doesn't get shot quite as often as this. I don't remember her getting shot like this in
No.
what I've seen in the animated series. Like
In
no
the
one's
original, no.
sorry, yeah, the original. No one has mentioned that it
Nope.
happens in that.
Oh
But
no, she does not go down. This is
it
one
does
weird episode.
yeah, this it does feel a little bit out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
yeah, my girl's getting on a bit, and
mm-hmm.
she's not quite as quick as she used to be, but that's fine. She lives on a spaceship. That was gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm good with her being a track star.
yeah,
But yeah, she just gets zapped, goes down, and then we get toggle 5, which is a weird one
yeah.
because it seems to be nothing but a communication device. Except it turns off the police web and
Yeah.
all the electric fields, which is interesting. So then the Starfleet people make a break for it. And as they're running, Spock does not tell Sulu and Uhura what his plan is. And then he proves that while the Kazin think Vulcans are pacifists,
Yes.
Spock with the flying drop kick,
He
you know?
literally does a flying drop kick and it makes me laugh. I love this
Yes,
moment. I love the animation.
yes,
I love the fact that we've got the Kazinti with the helmets, we've got the
yep,
life belts, and we get a flying drop kick, and that is
yes.
so it's cringy because it's cringy because it comes out of left field, but it is
I
so
don't think it's cringy. I think it makes sense.
it's one of those ones where I thought, oh, did they have to do that? But I can understand why
Yeah.
they've done it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is partly the adaptation, the story that happened. Also because Spock's main combat style is the nerve pitch.
Yeah,
But that's not going to work on a Kazin.
no, especially when they've got helmets and they've got
Exactly.
astronaut suits
So
on and all
he
this.
had to hurt one of them. He
Yeah.
had to hurt Chuffed Captain. That was intentional. And he got the weapon away from him.
Yes.
So Chuffed Captain has had his ribs broken over one of his hearts. Notice one of his hearts.
Yes.
What other race do you know
Klingon.
that has multiple hearts? Yeah,
Klingons.
exactly. Yes. And yes, Cam, exactly. Spock is a Starfleet officer. He avoids fighting, but he knows how to do it.
Oh,
He will
100%.
not
And
start a fight, but he will
but this
finish it.
is this is one of the things that I think people forget when they're writing their characters. Every Starfleet officer has had security training.
Some,
even
yes.
even the wimpy science officer who is on deck 5 and they've never left, they have basic security training.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
um
no. If hard put to it, Barclay could have zapped the heck out of anybody who came aboard
yeah, and he should
the
have.
Enterprise. Yes,
He completely should have.
yes. And then now, as they're running, they're zigzagging. Sulu gets behind a glacier. Spock has gotten into a fight with Chuck Captain, stolen the weapon, and who's trying to run? Uhura again. 3 strikes. She's out.
Yes, and this is where I think you said that I would have had a lot of red flags other than
Yes,
how the Gazintis treat their women. It's
yes.
Yes, I don't
But
think it should have been this character. They could have shared the shots. Sulu could
yeah.
have got shots.
Well, Sulu did get shot in the beginning.
Yes.
So yes. But we get the shot of Sulu and Spock where we call back to TOS. as Uhura is being captured.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the callback that's happening here is to the Paradise Syndrome and Shore Leave.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My brain said Once Upon a Planet, and I'm like, no, that's the TAS episode. It's Shore Leave.
Yes.
And where Sulu is an expert on old guns.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually canon in Trek. This isn't just made up by this episode.
No, it's
and
it's
I
not.
love that Sulu is the weapons expert, and Spock is like, okay, wait. When Sulu says this is a weapon from a spy,
yeah,
and Spock's like, I acknowledge your expertise as a historian of weapons.
Yeah.
How can you judge ownership?
Yeah.
And Sulu goes through it. Why would you need a simple laser? Why would you need a telescope? Why would you need a communications device? Why would you need all of these little things?
Yeah, and I actually really like that they've put this all in one device because yes, we do have quite a lot of those concepts in our mobile phones now.
Yeah, I was
Obviously,
about to
apart
say
from
how many.
yeah.
Yeah.
The times when they used to tell us as a kid, oh, well, you won't have a calculator in your pocket. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do.
Yes, I. How about this? Some of us have calculators on our wrists all the time.
Yes, yes.
God, I miss my
Yes,
calculator watch.
I'm just reading. I'm just looking at the comments. I think it's from Cam. I think them targeting Uhura shows underlining anger, disgust, and intelligent and equal female.
Yes,
possibly.
You are absolutely 100%. Right,
I
think that's
I can jump on that. And Phoebe's put, I love Shore Leave episode. You get to see people's passions outside of work. Yeah.
Yes.
And I
for writing it. Yes, but the one I'm talking about with the with Shore Leave is literally the original episode, Shore Leave.
Yeah.
Where they go to the Shore Leave planet.
And yeah, Chris, I wish my phone had a laser on it. How cool would that be?
Yes, and Phoebe, absolutely right. The TAS version of there's an app for that.
100%, yes.
And then we find out the thing that there needs to be an app for on everyone's phone in the next image.
Yes.
The total conversion of matter to energy.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is more efficient than a warp core.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah. That was the only part of this that I was a bit like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And then obviously we get back to them all being captured again.
Yeah. Because they get blown away by the wind from this massive antimatter explosion, essentially.
Yes.
And Chuffed Captain gets the weapon back. They're back in the police web. Great. And then he finds out that it's actually a thinking computer.
Yes, which is not where I thought the episode was going to go.
Where did you think it was going?
I don't know, but I didn't think it would be a little thinking computer. I didn't expect it to end how it did. I'm not disappointed. But I didn't.
Well, the ending is great.
Yes.
But yes, the thinking computer goes through, and we get some. Well, actually, I do want to cut back to one that I didn't take a picture for before she gets it. Before we get into the next image, really.
Yeah.
Two things. One, when Uhura is being held captive before they give him back the gun, before everything. When they're talking about could Spock beat Chuffed Captain in a fight? And Spock says the odds are 16-1 against. And they're just like, no dice, no dice. We're not fighting. We're not giving you this. We're not tolerating this. We're not with you. Right? And Chuffed Captain looks over at Uhura and says, they must think very little of you. She's like, no, they think less of you.
Yeah.
And just, you can hear the disdain dripping out of Michelle's mouth. just the just absolute
Disgust.
disgust and disrespect and everything in Michelle's voice. And it
Yeah.
is so beautiful, that moment of her just being like,
I
they
very
think
much
very
love
little of you.
the character and the I feel like more emotion is expressed via
Mm.
this medium than the episodes I've seen her in.
In
In even in the movies, I feel very much
okay,
like we get more out of her in
I,
this.
I see that because in this one, well, especially in this episode where she's a focal character, where in the movies she's very rarely the focal character, and
Yeah,
and the thing is, Nichelle Nichols will be forever an excellent actress who knows what her role is and does it.
yeah,
And when her role is support, that's what she does.
yes.
She is there to support the leads, to support the action.
She keeps them connected,
Very much so.
and she
She's
sings.
the communications officer.
She in the obviously in the musical episode, because I will keep going back
Mhm.
to this episode because it is my favorite Starfleet
Yeah.
Star Trek episode
Well,
ever.
yeah, that's her.
Um,
Yeah.
it's she sings a song about keeping them connected, and it very much
Mhm.
shows that that is her role.
Okay. Yes, but I mean, I'm just also talking about Nichelle Nichols as an
Yeah,
actress too. So that it came through the character is excellent. But yes, this is also the actress, and she is putting this across. And Spock using their own honor system against them is great.
yes.
So yes, they really do get into some of these great character details and these great moments.
I feel very much like the animated series is challenges more things than I've seen in a lot of tracks. I feel very much
Mm-hmm.
like it kind of challenges a lot more themes, which
Yes,
is hilarious because it's 14 episodes. Or but maybe it's because I've
16.
forgotten.
Yes.
Well, no, no, we've only seen 14
Oh,
episodes
we've
so
only
far.
seen
Yeah,
14, right? It's yeah.
yes,
We've
yeah.
got like 20 something total. So
I
yes, we've got
know.
a
Well,
couple more to go.
we're over halfway. I feel very
Yes,
much like
unfortunately.
it challenges a lot more themes than what I feel
Yes.
like other seasons do, and they have like 22 episodes per season. You know, they've got 9 seasons. I feel
Mm-hmm.
very, yeah, Phoebe, it's very much more progressive writing.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely love it. I very much the animated series is definitely inspiring me. For people that are on my games, they've probably seen more. What's funny?
The comment about the matter conversion weapon. Weatherspoons would be devastated if everyone
Oh
had one.
yes, I laughed about 10 minutes ago to that because I was just
Yes.
like that as a British person, and if you don't know what Witherspoons is, it's
I
basically it's
Good enough.
sorry. Um Basically Witherspoons is the I don't think there is an American equivalent to it, to be fair.
Go
It's
for it.
basically no, I don't think there is. I think it's basically cheap and cheerful food, but
Oh yeah.
literally everywhere has a Witherspoons, and
Oh yeah. It's fast food. Yeah.
we just literally call it the spoons.
Yeah. I've actually wait. The one time I went to Northern Ireland, I was there once.
Okay, so yeah, you've experienced the spoons, but
Yep,
yes,
once. Though I
Witherspoons
was
poo
not sober
rubble.
at the time. I
Yes,
imagine most people who go there are not, because
yes, but
I know I was not the only one not sober.
the bargain version of a pub.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Um. So yes. So yes, we have the thinking computer now. After having had the honor system broken against them, after having her get a moment to mouth off, thankfully, because she deserved it. She
yeah,
really did. 3 zaps, with phasers. Um, and then the thinking computer and Chuffed Captain have a debate where Chuffed Captain is trying to ask it things. The lieutenant of the Kazinti is trying to ask it things. And it's like, without certain code words, I can tell you nothing.
yeah,
And then it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yes.
And um I I don't know whether I recognized it immediately or not, but it's definitely in my notes from the first time I rewatched it. That it's like, wait a minute, this thing's smart.
Yes.
It's got code words and they're not saying them. It thinks it's been captured.
Yeah.
And what would you do if you had a weapon that was more powerful than a warp core
Mm-hmm.
and some asshole was asking you about it while also asking about your star chart position?
Yes. And which I found, this is why I didn't expect the episode to go the way that it went, because I didn't expect a little device to be as powerful as that and also have as many, well, basically it was so smart that it did what it did. And I obviously
Yep.
we see that, but then we switch to Spock and he's going,
Yep.
we need to put the life belts on. And they're all
Yep.
like, and he goes through the whole thought process, and I'm like, yeah, that's 100% correct. And it was not the expected result as you labeled the
Yes.
image.
Yes. Not the expected result. Yes. With that two-pronged thing.
Yeah, that definitely went a bit not how I expected.
Yes. On the other hand, I love the design of it.
But if you notice in the images when obviously if you're watching it, the weapon changes with each thing, and I
Exactly.
love the fact that it shifts. It
Yes.
does it does show that each setting requires a different shape, different design. And
Mm-hmm.
I really like this episode. I really like the
Yes. I love this episode. Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's a really good example of how sci-fi writing, where the writer has thought about a piece of technology would be developed. Yeah, 100% Phoebe. It is
exactly.
very cool.
Yes. And
All
then
the weapons designs look like musical instruments.
yes.
Yeah,
But
it looks
then we
like,
get
yeah, I can see it.
yeah, and then Chuff Captain tests the thing outside the ship. And my God, I love the last image here because it is proof that they not only could they draw the ships well, they had a thought about the space
Yeah,
because my God, that crater, right? Because the thing is, it's a disruptor field,
yeah,
and boy, are they disrupted. Chuffed Captain, the lieutenant, all but the telepath are now instantly dead,
yes.
and the front of the ship is blown off. I love
Yeah,
that moment
yeah, and
where
it's not how we normally end a Trek episode.
no,
Normally it kind of ends ever so slightly on a positive note.
mm-hmm.
But this episode very much ended on a negative. I think it's one of the few that I remember that has had such a
Yeah,
negative
yeah,
vibe to it. Because obviously we get
absolutely.
that, and then they get back to the ship, and Uhura makes a joke about, well, she says something about
Well,
you and your, what was it? You and your stories, or you and
yeah.
your,
Which part? Where I mean,
right, like right at the end,
oh,
like
the coda right at the end. I don't remember, but I know the one you're talking about where it's like, oh yeah, where she asked, oh, because they have legends about weapons that are possessed by their owners, which
yes,
was a point
yes,
that was brought up earlier in the episode
yeah,
with the thinking computer. She's like, well, now they're not going to live that one down.
yeah, and I was a bit like, oh, that's a strange
Well,
part to leave it on.
but I also like, I also find it interesting that they do nothing about the telepath. They just leave him there alive.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, good luck, pal. Have fun. Your problem now.
yeah. It kind of felt
It's
a bit. But I also do wonder if that's the thing, that the fact that the episodes are only 25 minutes long, we don't get to see.
it's a part of it. It's also a part of because this is an adaptation of Larry Niven's story. Um, humanity and the Xin are at war. Well, not at war, but this is 200 years past a war. This is
Yeah,
there are still wounds. Okay, there are still deep wounds
yeah,
over these wars, and they don't really care about the Xin.
yeah,
Um, Also, would you, if you were Uhura, would you really give a damn about a guy whose crew had just zapped you 3 times?
I would say yes, because he still needs to be punished. He still needs to go in front of a tribunal, a court.
Well,
That's
isn't
still
leaving him on an ice world in a star system that
I would say not. I would still like galactic. I would still like that punishment and that
okay,
recognition. So yeah, but
okay.
I think that's a
So
personal thing from me that I
so
wouldn't.
rather than starving him to death,
Yeah,
you would want him to see justice. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough.
There's the ways it means.
Okay. But yeah, but this guy, but yeah, it's probably the hardest hearted that Trek gets,
Hmm.
that they leave the telepath on the ice world, presumably to clear the drugs, and then either go back to empty space with a shuttle or signal for help somehow or whatever.
Yeah,
Because the thing is that Beta Lyrae, um, it's commented, ships stop there regularly just to
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
So if they see a life sign, they might
They're gonna investigate.
exactly they might pick him up. He's not. It's not instant death, and in fact, letting him clear the drugs naturally might make him a better being.
Hmm.
Either that or turn him back into a nasty son of a gun. But oh
Yes.
well.
So, what
Um,
is your score for this episode?
my score is 5 out of 5 sin.
I'm not a fan that you know what my score system is now. Not a fan. Not a fan. But
sorry,
it's
sorry.
yes. But I started this episode with a 4.
Okay.
But but some of the discussion has made me change my mind, and I've actually gone for 5 as well, because
Yes.
I think it's actually up there with Yesteryear, with
Yes.
the other episodes that I have given a 5. I can't remember what the episodes are, but it's
Yeah.
definitely up there.
We've been very careful about the fives.
Yes,
Yesteryear
I think
is a
we've been very
6.
strict. I think we've been
Yes,
very fair with the scoring.
absolutely. But yeah, this is one where I would say it's not the must watch that Yesteryear is.
Yes.
Okay. But this is absolutely, if you are a fan of Larry Niven, watch this episode. If you are a fan of cats, watch this episode.
Yes.
If you are a fan of Star Trek, watch this episode. It is fun, it is entertainment, and it's just a good story, and it's a good focus on 3 characters who tend to work in ensemble better than alone. So we get some development on Sulu and O'Hara,
Yeah.
and I like that. Hearing Uhura get to snark at somebody is always a great moment.
Very much.
Hearing somebody bring up that Sulu is the weapons expert on the ship or handgun expert.
Yeah.
Um, seeing Spock be willing to fight physically. It's a great episode.
Yeah.
It
I
all
do
flows.
I do like this episode. I don't think it's as well known as Yesteryears and
Mm-hmm.
the other ones. But I did enjoy this episode. It didn't have any house sparks,
Yep.
which
Well,
originally
I'm sorry. A flying drop kick can outdo it. Can be on the level
no
of a hailstorm.
house sparks are the best. But it did get the point back for the fact it has the life belts.
Yes.
Because
Come on, life belts and the flying drop kick.
I love the life belts so
Yes.
much.
Yes. There's a
I
reason I
really,
still use them in all my games.
I might have to find a way to introduce them because I do love
Yes.
them.
Yes.
But yes, so this was a good episode. So would you like to tell everyone what the next episode is going to be from
Sure.
the animated series?
The next episode, if you hadn't noticed me looking down here at my little episode guide from my DVDs, the next episode is The Eye of the Beholder. Stardate 5501.2. I'm not going to give you any clues about it beyond the fact that it is called The Eye of the Beholder.
Okay.
All right. It's unfortunately it's not as big an episode as this one or
Okay.
as the one that I'm looking forward to in 2 episodes. Because
See,
the
I obviously a beholder to me is from D&D,
it's
and
D&D, yes.
I'm terrified because my character in my D&D session has literally just met a zombified beholder, and I'm terrified. Yeah.
See, my favorite character in the D&D game that I ever ran into was a beholder mage. Now, I want you to understand, all beholders are insane, right? Beholder mages are so insane that they use their destruction beam on their main anti-magic eyeball.
Yes.
They are lunatics among
Yes.
beholders.
So
They are
I'm interested about this episode. For anyone
yes,
who hasn't seen this previously, I don't actually look at anything until I watch the
yes,
episode.
yes.
If Endy sends me the images, I do not look at the images.
No,
I literally
nope.
I go okay, and then I click
Yep.
off the DM. So I don't even get tempted. I literally
Yep.
do not download the images until half an hour before we go live. Um,
Fair enough.
I don't look at anything until literally I've watched the episode. I don't go on any wikis. I don't do anything. So it's literally when I watch it, it's a blind reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so now I'm thinking this episode is D&D related. I'm guessing it's
It
not.
is not. I
It's
can
not.
tell you it is absolutely not.
It's not.
Um,
Darn.
I've um but I will say I have seen it once. It is okay. The problem is that as we get towards the end of the series, there are highlight moments like this one and like the one we're going to get in a couple episodes, which I'll just spoil that title as well, The Pirates of Orion.
Yes, I know that one because I have seen. Because for some
Yes.
reason Netflix keeps trying to send me to season two, um,
Yes.
which I don't know why it does, but it does.
I don't know.
Um, so
Yes.
yes, so that episode should be in two
But
weeks.
yes.
The
Yeah,
next one.
that's 2 weeks. Is actually no, 3. Because we've got The Eye of the Beholder, then we've got
Oh
one
yes.
with a very weird title, The Jihad. Actually, it's not weird.
Oh
It's just going to be touchy.
yeah,
The Jihad.
I can imagine that it will be. Yeah, that will be an interesting
And
one.
yes, it does involve religion and Trek.
That would be
So it's going
definitely
to
a
be interesting.
disclaimer episode. So yeah, that
Yeah.
episode, our next episode is on the
Yes.
8th.
Yes.
Next week's episode is at the earlier time of 4 o'clock BST. So I think
So
that's
1
11.
p.m.
Yeah,
Is it
it's a mm,
11? That's 11
11.
a.m.
Yeah.
New York time. Yep.
Yes, because I am appearing on the newest edition of the Nerdy Up North podcast, which is Women of a Nerd Culture,
Yes.
at 8 p.m.
And
BST.
I look
So
and I look forward to that.
yes, it's been
Yes,
filmed. It's been filmed. It
because
was filmed this week,
awesome.
so it's there. It's there. It's live. It will be below in the links so that you'll be able to see it.
Yay. Because
But
yes, you are definitely a woman of sci-fi, and you deserve every part of that title.
yes, nerd culture. I'm there with my girls
Yes.
Sarah and Sammy, and it's good. It's good. It's good. It's a good episode. My nerves were ever so slightly there because I am there with well, I'm there with two absolutely amazing women who have done podcasts and things like that. So it's a different vibe. But yeah, it's a good episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing the reviews and
Good.
what people feel
All
about
right.
it. But
I
next
will
week's
be
episode
there.
is a Doctor Who episode. There were some technical
Mhm.
difficulties with the episode.
Yeah.
Very much in line with the issues that we've had tonight. We had some sound quality issues at the end. But you'll see the edit of that I've done. But apart from that, I've got nothing else to add. Make sure you like, subscribe,
Yes.
share
Like,
across
share,
the
subscribe, and yes,
internet.
Chris. Yes. And Chris, I do send curveball titles, not curveball images. Hmm? I do send curveball titles once in a while. and I like being able to send the titles because that way we kind of get a joke and we get to play off it. And by the way, Chris, I just want to say thank you for that Photoshop in the Discord. We
Yes,
are going to use that as the thumbnail.
I'm actually gonna put it up on here,
Yes,
so that
please do. Please do.
everyone can see it. Let me see if I can find it quickly, because it
Please do,
literally
because
had
that
me.
needs to be our thumbnail.
It had me absolutely creased. If you'd seen it, I was crying with laughter. It's
I
brilliant.
was, yeah.
I absolutely
I
love this. Thank you so much, because it
yes,
did. Both of us were
yeah,
basically hysterically laughing after
yes.
this, because it was just so funny.
It absolutely made our
So
day.
thank you for doing that, Chris. We really appreciate the
There we
work
go.
that you
Yep.
do, and the fact that you are one of our biggest cheerleaders. And thank you everyone who's came here tonight.
Yes.
But yes, I don't have anything
Yes.
else to say.
Nope.
Do you have anything else to
No.
add, Andy?
Other than just thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Becca, for giving the opportunity for this. I'm glad that you've been loving this series. I look
Yes.
forward to next week. Have fun with Doctor Who.
Yes. I'm actually going to go
And
watch the newest episode tonight.
all right. And by the way, I think I've said this in Discord, and I mean it. Um, the series, if I get into Doctor Who for real, if I try to, I'm gonna need somebody's help, because what I'm gonna need is somebody to guide me through like the first seasons. Because
You could possibly start with the newest one, and you wouldn't
really,
be you wouldn't be missing out on much,
okay,
because
because
they've made
the
it
only
possible for us for anyone to jump in to
Mhm.
the newest
Nice,
series. So you could literally start with the ones
because
that have come out on Disney, and no problem.
the only ones that I know, the only ones that I've seen are the first serial, the black and white
Hmm.
serial,
Yeah.
and I have seen one of the episodes of the Tom Baker era with the Daleks. That's it.
You literally would not
Actually, I've
need
seen Day of
to
the
watch
Daleks.
anything. You would not need to watch any of it,
Nice.
because Disney money has made it so that it's possible that you
Mm.
can literally just jump into this. It's I'm going to probably offend Ben now. So Ben, if you're watching this later on, I'm sorry. It's a reboot. It
It's a
feels
soft
very much.
reboot.
It's a soft reboot.
Yeah.
BBC are basically classing it as series one. I am not. I am not on that bandwagon. I
Yeah.
refuse to acknowledge that it's season one. Um,
Interesting.
but it has been on the BBC iPlayer. It is down as season one, and they've actually made another block for the newest Doctor Who.
Mm.
So we have
Okay.
2005 to 2024 as a block.
Right.
We have old Doctor Who,
Yeah, we have
and then
Baker and them. Yeah.
we've got the new ones.
Interesting.
So it is,
And
and from me watching the first episode,
yeah.
which is the one that will come out next Saturday. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean.
Okay. And another one that another sort of British sci-fi that I've been into but never kind of finished. That I think would be funny to talk about. Red Dwarf.
Oh yes, I'm
There we go.
there.
Yes.
Oh my god, Red Dwarf is life.
Yes. So
I
we should
love
do that
Red
along with
Dwarf.
TOS. We should get you and me and Ben and a couple of others and start talking Red Dwarf,
I love
because
Red Dwarf. Seriously, I haven't seen any of the newer
yeah,
ones.
me
But
either.
the OG ones from
Yes.
the year that I was born,
Yes.
because I'm pretty sure Red Dwarf is
Yeah.
just about a week older than me.
Yeah. Where
It's amazing.
like
I love it.
TNG is 9 months younger than me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I
But yes, it would
absolutely
be
love Red
funny.
Dwarf. So yes,
Um,
so this
we
is
have plans. We have
we have
ideas.
lots and lots of plans that were going ahead.
But
But yes,
yes, yeah, Chris, I agree. Yeah,
yes,
Chris, Phoebe, yes.
yes,
Also, one small thing that I sometimes push. Everyone remember obsidianfleetdotnet is the Fleet website. If you've got a space in your schedule for a sim, there are sims looking for people.
your
If you've got a
X-Men,
space in your life, X-Men Avalon
You've got
needs people.
X-Men, you've got Power Rangers, you've
Yep.
got Enterprise era Lost in Space, you've got AUs, we've got a tabletop game that I think happens on a Saturday night,
Yes.
which is
I've been going to join to boldly roll so many times, and it just has never panned out for me because my life schedule just hasn't worked.
yes.
But
We've got we've
yes.
got and we've got potentially some other games that are going to be limited, so limited the
Hmm.
open world ones, but we've got
But
a government sim that's going to be starting,
hmm
which is going to be open. It's a task force game. We've got the Traveler's Rest, which is an AU it's Dulax game. Whatever games we've got loads of games. I will put the
yes,
link for the task groups below.
yes,
But
please do.
yes, until
Because
next time, stay
till
lovely,
next time,
stay logical.
live long and prosper.
Estri out.